Tonight, the A's make their way to Minute Maid Park to take on the first-place Astros. The Astros have had an interesting season. For the first 4 months, they were the best team in the American League, but recently they have struggled, losing 13 out of their last 19 and are seeking a way to get back to winning ball games. The young A's would love to continue to rattle the Astros as the race for the best record in the American League is starting to tighten up. The Athletics could have a lot to say in the last 6 weeks of this season. It's game 1 of 3, the A's and the Astros, next. Well, the road trip starts tonight here in Houston. We're at Minute Maid Park, home of the Astros, and a couple of lefties are set to square off in game 1 of the series. Dallas Keuchel for the Astros and Sean Manaea for the Athletics. It's the Oakland A's and the Houston Astros coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball, along with my broadcast partner, Ray Fosse. I'm Glenn Kuiper. Houston Astros coming into tonight, 27 games over 500. They got a 12-game lead, Ray, but yet they don't feel good. They're not playing well right now, and their long list, disabled list players, it doesn't seem to be getting any shorter.
They've got a bunch of disabled players, but maybe the frustration they're showing right now because they're not winning, maybe that's going to help them down the stretch. You can see their record. What they've done recently has not been that great, but you look at some injured players. To me, Carlos Correa, their shortstop, is on the disabled list. They need to get him back to go into postseason. They also need their veteran catcher. They've got some pitchers, but they also need to play solid baseball down the stretch to go into postseason. That's an important thing for them.
All right, for Sean Manaea, he'll be making his 23rd start of the year, and man, he is in a tough stretch right now. And Ray, you just have to be at your best against this Astros lineup, so this is a big challenge tonight for Sean Manaea.
Well, he has been at his best against the Astros, but he's also well rested because the numbers for him, his last 3 starts, 6 2/3 innings. How about 13 earned runs, 18 total? Fortunately, he's got some unearned runs in there, but he needs to pitch well. He has against the Astros. Let's hope that's the case. Let's not be looking at the number of innings that he's pitched. Still with 6 weeks of baseball remaining, he needs to finish strongly the remainder of the season.
And the Astros are glad that Keuchel is healthy. He will pitch tonight, the left-hander. He has a 10-2 record. Now up next, we will check back in with the A's pregame live studios, and then we'll come back to Houston and Minute Maid Park for game 1 of this 3-game series. It's the A's and the Astros, so stick around.
Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new $4.99 Smoky Jack Burger Combo with small fries and a small drink. Limited time only.
Welcome back to Minute Maid Park here in Houston. A nice crowd gathering tonight. It is Legends Weekend here in Houston as the Astros celebrating the 1997 season.
I thought they were doing for you.
No.
For this weekend.
Or you.
Oh.
Legend in the house, Ray Fosse. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. It's 95 degrees and very humid outside, and the roof is closed, so it's a very comfortable setting inside Minute Maid Park. And boy, it is warm and it is humid outside. So that is the situation as far as the weather and the roof being closed here inside Minute Maid Park as the Astros take the field wearing the orange tops and the white pants tonight for game one of the series. So their main man is on the hill tonight. That is the left-hander, Dallas Keuchel. Now let's look at the lineup that Keuchel will face. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. And here it is. Rajai Davis will lead off in center. Marcus Semien is at short. Jed Lowry is the second baseman. See Chris Davis and his numbers against the Astros in 12 games this year. He's hit 7 home runs versus Houston. Then it's Healy, Pinder, Chapman, Joyce, and Garneau. That's the Oakland A's starting lineup.
And the left-hander they're very happy to have back in the rotation. That is Dallas Keuchel. He is not going to overpower you. He's had 2 of his many quality starts against the Athletics this year, but he was on the disabled list for 8 weeks, 10 wins, and then he goes on the DL for 8 weeks. So they're looking forward to getting him back. Like I said, not overpowering. He's not like Jason Vargas. Vargas, a lefty, will pitch inside. Keuchel is more of anything outside, change-up fastballs. You just have to think opposite field if you're a right-handed hitter.
Defensively behind Keuchel, the Astros look like this. Our old friend Josh Reddick is in left field. Marisnik's in center, Springer's right. So it's a very good defensive outfield for Houston. Bregman, Gonzalez, Altuve, and Gurriel on the infield, third to first. And Max Stassi is your catcher. So Reddick, we're so used to seeing him in right field, but he has played some left field for the Astros, and that is where he is at tonight.
And one game in left field against the Athletics, and I remember he had a little struggle because he's so accustomed to having the ball come off the bat one way in right field. Now he's playing with the Crawford boxes just behind him in left field. This is much different here.
So Rajai Davis steps in, and we are set for baseball from Minute Maid Park. 6-game road trip for the Athletics, 3 here in Houston and then 3 in Baltimore. So going up against a couple of teams that, well, one that's definitely going to be in the postseason in these Astros, and the Orioles pushing hard for a wild card spot. So a challenging road trip for the Athletics.
Strange to look into the catcher and not see Brian McCann or Evan Gattis. Instead, it's Max Stassi, the former Athletic.
Wow. Very low strike called by Jerry Lane, excuse me. Jerry Lane is the crew chief, and he is calling balls and strikes. Addington, Bellino, and Estabrook are the rest of the umpires.
Hey, Keuchel gets that strike all night. It's going to be a long night for the Athletics.
Big chopper toward third. Bregman on to first, and that's the first out of the ball game.
And Cap, as we always say, if an umpire calls a strike, a particular pitcher strike, it forces the hitter to swing at a pitch that may not be a strike, and Rajai might have done it on the 0-2.
Well, if Keuchel gets a low strike call, or if that's just the way the umpire is, then he is extra tough. And that's why ground ball percentage, he does not quite have enough innings, but 64%.
Well, in the 2 starts this year, he's had 19 in a total of 14 and 2/3 innings, 19 ground ball outs. But Cap, as you had mentioned in our open about the importance of Dallas Keuchel and being the leader of this staff going into postseason, which they will be. And if they go deep in the postseason, he's going to have to pitch a lot of games.
This is his 16th start this year. 2 stints on the disabled list. He has beat the ace twice this year. Last 11 starts versus the A's, 4-1 with a 1.79 ERA. He beat the A's on the 14th of April, and he beat the A's on the 30th of April.
I mentioned Jason Vargas. The A's saw Kansas City and Vargas after they played the Astros, and Keuchel was the pitcher, and just a different type of pitcher. He's a Gold Glover too.
Yes, he is. He knocks it down, picks it up, throws out Simeon, 2 away.
When the A's faced Vargas, he pitched inside with a fastball. Keuchel does not do it that much. He will throw the breaking pitch inside, down and in. But he lives and dies with a fastball and a changeup away from the righties. And you roll over, you're going to do this. And Keuchel has won a Gold Glove, or 1 Gold Gloves. And, of course, they've got Altuve at second, also a Gold Glover. Keuchel fields his position extremely well.
He's won the Gold Glove 3 consecutive seasons, so no surprise there. In those 2 starts versus the A's, Keuchel 7 innings, 1 earned run on the 14th of April, and then 7 2/3 innings and 1 earned run. So very similar outings and wins in both of those games. And the final score was identical, 7-2.
And the A's collected a total of 7 hits. Well, they struck out 16 times, which we don't want to talk about the strikeouts. They just keep striking out, and too many, as a matter of fact, over the course of several games this year.
1-1 to Jed Lowry, switch hitter. And now 1-2. Lowry has the most at-bats against Keuchel in his career, 35. That's Keuchel's corner.
Not enough real beards, or beards in general, spread throughout the Minute Maid Park. You're seeing some of the fake beards. Some
Sitting
of them
down the left field line, a little bit like King's corner. So Keuchel, another nice play, throws to first, side, retired. That's a 3-up, 3-down, 3 ground ball out. First inning for Dallas Keuchel. So no score, bottom of the first inning. Let's look at the starting lineup for the Houston Astros. It is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Missing a few of the big names, but still a good lineup. Springer, Bregman, Altuve, Gurriel, Gonzalez, Reddick, Beltran, Stassi, and Marisnick.
And Sean Manaea, as we detailed, he is well rested in his last 3 starts, only a total of 6 2/3 innings. So the tall lefty, who last year on April the 29th made his debut, Major League debut, that was against the Astros at the Coliseum. The A's won the game, no decision for the lefty, but he has pitched well against Houston this year. One game he had a no-hitter for 5 innings, although he walked 5 batters, which meant he had to leave early. So Sean trying to get back on track. That 8th win came back on July the 16th. He's been at 8 wins since then.
First pitch to Springer, in there for a strike to the Astros right fielder, having a terrific season. .307, 28 homers, 70 RBI. The .307 batting average is 9th best in the league. The 28 home runs is 7th best. 9 of those 28 home runs, leadoff home runs. That's the most in the majors. George Springer. Up the middle. Semien throws high. The slide by Springer, and he's safe.
And that's the only time you leave your feet to go into the slide is with a high throw. If Semien had made the good throw, then he's out. But when Healy had to jump up, Springer hits the ground, and he's safe. This is a play that Marcus was working on at the Coliseum. But with Springer going into the head first dive, he was able to avoid the tag by Healy with the throw up and up the line. He goes down, and Healy can't tag him. The thing is, Springer made a nice adjustment as he was running. I see a lot of times a guy will slide or dive and ill-advised, but that's the only time you do it is when the fielder has to do what he did. So, and I mentioned Marcus Semien. He's been working at the Coliseum with Steve Scarsone. Ground balls just like that up the middle. Get it, throw it, release it quickly, and that time he had the speed of Springer, and he released it a little bit too quickly.
One pitch to Bregman was hit high and fouled on the right field line. You know, I agree with you on the sliding into head first. I think that is the only time to do it. But I'm not sure everybody can do it in that circumstance.
Exactly.
I think you got to be pretty athletic, and I think
you usually just keep running and kind of duck under, but to go to the ground, Roberto Alomar is a Hall of Famer, and I always think about him, but he was the best at doing that. But Springer did it perfectly, and you know, you're running full speed, and all of a sudden you see the guy go up, you got to go down.
That's right.
And
but I mean, there's listen. There's guys that would get hurt trying to do this.
That's right. But see, instead, see how he was that he goes down and hit the bag with his left hand. Kind of went to the side quickly, very quickly. Yeah.
Springer runs. Ball is fouled back to the screen.
The thing is, if the only way a first baseman can make that play is if the runner doesn't slide.
Yep.
If he just tries to duck under, Ryan Healy could get him. See right there, he just goes down. That's a great slide. That's great instincts by a young man who runs hard every time he runs. And for him to make that adjustment as he approached the bag was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, and you're right. If he doesn't do that, Healy is able to tag him. Springer with a huge lead. He is. I think Springer is begging Manaea to throw it to first because he's just got a huge lead.
And I think also he wants to be the igniter on this club. And you talk about the 9 leadoff home runs. Matt Joyce has 4 himself, but he does not lead off every time. And tonight he's not. Springer does. That could have been a walk.
Now, Springer's not a big stolen base guy. He's got 4 this year, but he's getting such a big lead. There's no question that he has the attention of Manaea. Now he's got 3 pickoffs this year. And a 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and that's a strikeout for Sean Manaea. So 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Here's the A's defense. Joyce, Davis, and Pinder in the outfield. Chapman, Semien, Lowry, and Healy on the infield. And Dustin Garneau is the catcher. So here is Jose Altuve, the most popular Astro. I don't think I'm going out on a limb there when I say that.
You know, we showed in our open some of the frustration of the Astros. Altuve slamming his bat in the dugout, and you know the cameras everywhere, so people are going to see that. But the frustration, while it's great to show that you're really intense and you want to win, but as the Astros are going now, the worst thing they probably could do is show the frustration instead of just going out and trying to win. They're going to listen. They're having a bad stretch right now. This might be the best thing for them, because they'll get well and healthy down the stretch, and going to postseason might be the best thing that the Astros could do.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the injury list. We showed you some of those names in the open of our show, and it's a lengthy list of important players, but they will get all those players back at some point.
Well rested.
Probably in September, and you're right. They'll be well rested. They can ease them back into the lineup.
I mean, just thinking of the Dodgers, the way they're running away with it. Well, all of baseball. Kershaw is injured.
Well, look, you got Correa. We know his importance.
Yeah.
Both your catchers are down. Your number 2 starter, who's very good, McCullers, and then you got 3 bullpen arms. So that's a significant list. But the Astros know that at some point, probably in the next 3 weeks, all those guys will be back, and then you could get yourself ready for the postseason. But it's just been a tough stretch right now. They're 6-13 since July 29th, so they're trying to figure out how to turn this thing around.
And the 2 catchers, McCann and Gaddis, you can't tell them apart because they both have beards. Neither one has much hair. But they will be back. And that's why the Astros, when I got Tyler Clippard, and they made Lariano a starter into a reliever. And they've mixed and matched as well, trying to put guys in the pen, trying to get through this stretch. But you're right, they're going to get healthy, and they're going to be fully rested and strong health-wise, probably in the month of September, the last part, going into October.
Altuve takes low. Obviously, Correa, he's the shortstop. He's a middle of the order hitter. All those guys are important, but I think getting McCullers back healthy is huge, because McCullers is very good, but he has a little trouble staying healthy. And you need a couple guys at least going strong into the postseason. Springer, now he's going to get into a rundown. So Manaea is going to win that battle with Springer. Springer had a huge lead every time, and there I was surprised, Ray, that he just didn't keep running. I still think you're better off just to keep running if you get picked off.
Well, on 3-2, this is more of a contact to stay out of a double play versus trying to steal a base. And he took off on first move, which is ill-advised on a 3-2. You wait until the pitch goes to the plate, and the hitter is just trying to put the ball in play to stay out of a double play. But he left too soon. But he's on via the air, so maybe it all worked out well anyways. Marcus Semien able to make the tag.
Altuve, liner to center, and when it's all said and done, nothing for the Astros in the bottom of the first. Second inning coming up from Houston. No score between the A's and the Astros.
Fans, now is your chance to get involved in the A's new ballpark plans. Visit oaklandballpark.com, where you can get a voice in the shaping of the ballpark plan in Oakland. Being rooted in Oakland starts with you, so help us by visiting oaklandballpark.com today. Outside of Minute Maid Park, a new park here. Used to have the Astrodome, now Minute Maid. This place can get loud with the roof closed. And when it's hot and humid outside, it's always closed, fortunately.
Davis, Healy, and Pinder against Keuchel here in the second inning. And there's that low strike call. So keep an eye on that from the home plate umpire, Jerry Lane.
This is it, and man, if he gets this, that's where ideally he wants to pitch, and it does have the sinking action on the 86. But still, that's a low strike. Some umpires will never call it.
Pitch cast brought to you by Penn Fed Credit Union, and that time the high strike not called.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that is the trend tonight from home plate umpire Jerry Lane. 2-1 to Davis, 33 home runs and 86 RBIs. There's the changeup.
Yeah.
Not only is the velocity you saw, but it always moves away from left-hand or from right-handed hitters.
And this is perfect. This is a perfect way to pitch it. You try to pull this pitch, you're done. I mean, that's the higher strike the previous pitch, but it's a changeup down and away that just kept moving away from Chris Davis.
That one way out in front as it was blocked by Stassi. So the count 3-2.
And here's where you can never think about four-seam fastball 3-2. It's going to move. Could be a changeup.
Changeup usage. Interesting. 2015 was when he won the Cy Young.
There it is.
And he used it right there, 79 miles per hour, and Davis strikes out. So a 3-2 changeup, and it was perfectly thrown.
Well, he gave the same motion as a fastball, pulled the string, and that's all about the grip. You see that dive right at the end at 79. So it's there, it looks fastball, but it's hard for a hitter to sit soft. But I think in Keuchel's case, you better, because he's going to throw a lot of off-speed pitches. Even his fastball is not going to be with high velocity.
So here's Healy. The Astros just split a 4-game series with the Arizona Diamondbacks. One of those 2-2 series, 2 in Arizona and 2 here in Houston. And it was very interesting in reading the local paper this morning. AT Hinch was very critical of the umpires to the point where it surprised me, because you just don't usually hear managers that critical of umpires.
And it's in print, and it forever will be shown in the video because it was taped.
Yes, it was.
Oh, it's going to be there for everybody to see it when they want it.
But I want to read you some of the stuff he said. Tell me what you think about it, Ray. This is Hinch talking. He said, "I know we're not supposed to talk about the umpires, but honestly today, to have the 27th out taken away, it ain't fair." Marvin Gonzalez was called out on the final out of the game yesterday, which was a 4-0 Diamondback spin. He went on to say, Marvin gets the strikeout to end the game. We could have built an inning there. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of our guys taking to task for knowing the strike zone. That's not the reason we lost. It's not the reason we had a tough week. But it's garbage when you start getting at-bats taken away from you.
I'd say that's ill-advised. Now, maybe he did it for Marwin Gonzalez because he was called out. But you have a 2-out rally started in the 9th inning with Gurriel, the first base, hits a double. Corbin comes out of the game to bring the right-hander in. Marwin Gonzalez bats left-handed, he's called out. First of all, swing the bat. If it's close enough that you think it's a ball, swing the bat. It's the 27th out, and to think that you're going to build something around a double with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
Diving play. Bregman's throw, and it's dug out by Gurriel. Gurriel thought it's the 3rd out. It's not. It's just the 2nd out. But a terrific play by Alex Bregman, the 3rd baseman.
Well, it looked like it was going to get past him. He's been playing shortstop for the injured Correa. Comes up, and Gurriel, you're right. He makes a nice pick at first base and heads to the dugout and very quickly makes an about face and goes back to the playing field. But what a play by Bregman, who has done a great job playing third base. A little sidearm throw, and Gurriel able to make the play.
So 2 outs here in the 2nd inning. Well, 7 errors for Bregman.
Don't have to worry about the Bregman and Brugman show.
Nope.
It's Jacob Brugman in the minor leagues now. Bregman playing third base. There's Gurriel, the first baseman.
That's low. But to finish that A.J. Hinch umpire thing, he also said this is an accumulation of a week-long feeling that we've gotten the wrong end of these strike zones. So he wasn't just talking about yesterday's game. He was talking about the whole 4-game series against Arizona.
Well, I know Michael Fiers was quoted as saying when he was pitching, Greinke was getting more strikes than he was. The strike zone got tight with him and widened a little bit with Greinke. But, you know, when we saw Kevin Cash at the Coliseum when Souza Jr. was about to get ejected and Beckham the night before had been, Cash went out to protect his player. He got ejected. But it's hard to do that as a manager because you're really putting a lot of emphasis on your own team with the umpires. And granted, they're graded and they have the box and all that stuff. It's hard for an umpire to show any displeasure with comments like that because they do have to umpire the game and they're graded every time they do umpire behind the plate. But that's just that statement will follow him.
Probably. Yep. Bregman grabs it. It's a fair ball. He throws on the run in time. So that's a nice play by Alex Bregman. So impressive defensive work at the hot corner from Bregman. Highlights of the year, the Bristol Night Race. The NASCAR Cup Series races on the high banked short track tomorrow at 4 on NBC. The high banked short track.
So that means you go high and boom.
It's not Diablo Road that you and I are on a lot.
That's a good one.
Gurriel steps in. Gurriel hitting in the cleanup spot. Gurriel's having a nice season, and he whips one into left field for a base hit. So for the second inning in a row, the Astros have their leadoff man aboard.
Well, the breaking ball coming right into Gurriel, and that's a good pitch if you started farther outside and grab the outside corner, but not one that comes in the middle of the plate, which is right in the wheelhouse of the right-handed hitter. Chapman, as good as he is with his range, same with Semien, just could not get to the ball. Hit very hard by Gurriel.
So we'll see if Gurriel, who, again, not a big base stealer, but certainly we saw Springer trying to disrupt Manaea. We'll see if that's sort of a group thing with these Astros against the A's left-hander.
Sean has never been known to have a great pickoff move. He will throw to first, which that in itself is good because, as Springer found out, going on first move is not always indicative of what the pitcher's going to do. He will throw over. And the guy that the A's had in 14, who's now with the Cubs, just went on the DL, John Lester, was different because he didn't throw to first. And you don't have to have a particularly great move as long as you just show the runner at first that you will throw. And those will come from the bench and Bob Melvin to Dustin Garneau to Sean Manaea.
Fastball foul back by Marwin Gonzalez. Gonzalez, the switch hitter. He's playing shortstop now with Correa out for a little while yet. Gonzalez having a terrific season. 311, 20 homers and 69 RBIs. He is the super duper utility man for the Astros. Gonzalez has the 5th best batting average in the American League. And with all due respect to Ben Zobrist, who has made a terrific living being kind of a super utility but still play every day kind of guy, Gonzalez may be the best out there now. 20 home runs. He's got 22 doubles. He has played 6 different positions this year. Manaea jams him this time, and Simeon backpedals, and Simeon has it 1 away. And that'll bring up Josh Reddick.
Well, so far, Sean Manaea way ahead of his last start, which he didn't get out of the first inning, a third of an inning, and it wasn't even a out on a hitter. It was a throw out at the plate, and that was it. 1/3 of an inning, 6 hits, 6 runs, all earned, and that was against the Orioles. So he is well rested, especially in his last 3 starts.
12 homers, 58 RBIs, and a .295 average for Reddick. Reddick's got 25 doubles. He's got 3 triples.
Well, they're shifting him to the right side, but we have seen him here. We saw it the last time the A's were in town. They shifted him to right, and he went to left field. He will do that. And you leave the fastball up, he will drive it. Let's hope the Crawford boxes aren't that inviting for him.
Rolls over on that one. Well, how about Reddick this year, Ray, against lefties? 301.
He didn't start against Corbin yesterday.
Yeah, 73 at bat, so I think he does get a day off occasionally against a lefty.
And he said early part of the season that A.J. Hinch took him aside and said, I'm not going to play against every lefty. He said, but be ready.
I don't know that Josh ever came out and admitted it to us, but when he had a big game against a left-handed pitcher when he was with the A's, he loved it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Remember how that was the big thing with Sean Manaea. Lefties just had no chance against him early in the year, but now it's completely flipped. So that's one of those things that's just hard to figure out.
He had a no decision in New York against the Mets, but it was Jay Bruce, the lefty, who hit him straightaway center with a fastball at Citi Field. But for him, the breaking ball, slider, curveball are the important pitches. The lefties, he has to throw them hard and throw them away from the lefty, try to get him to chase.
Reddick had a good swing, fouls it right back.
One of the things about a lefty pitching to a left-handed hitter, the breaking ball in the inner half of the plate, they typically will open anyway. And once they open up and they see the breaking ball staying in the inner part of the plate, that's when they can do some serious damage. So the ideal way is to pitch them far away. See, that's got away with it.
Toward right field, Pinder now comes in. Pinder's got it. So Reddick is retired, 2 away.
Well, that's just what we're talking about. That's just the way the Astros are going, because that pitch to Josh Reddick, with him opening up, it's almost like a pitch down the middle to him. But fortunately got up. Look at the location. It's supposed to be down and away. Look where it is. Wow. He got away with it, because that is a pitch that he just lifted it instead of driving it. He knows he missed it. And maybe that's the way the Astros are going, to take a pitch like that instead of being a 2-run home run. It's a fly ball to right field.
Here's Carlos Beltran. He is a switch hitter as well, hitting .245, 14 home runs and 48 runs batted in. 23 doubles for Beltran.
Well, there's a big story about the interleague play. Of course, as you mentioned, the 4 games against the Diamondbacks, 2 of those in Phoenix, where the National Leaguers play. It's a tough time for Beltran because he does not play in the field anymore. It's DH almost exclusively. So he's definitely happy to get back here in his home park where he can DH.
Beltran turned 40 years old in April. 435 career home runs.
If he does anything close to what he did with the Astros in his first trip coming over from Kansas City, and he went off the charts, and the Astros are hopeful that will be the same when they play in October this year. They have his veteran leadership and come up with some big hits.
Yeah, man, that was way back in 2004.
That's right.
He is number 46 on the all-time home run list, 3 away from Andre Dawson. And that one is on the outside corner, first strike. But numbers down a little bit this year. Last year he had 29 home runs.
Well, his bat was so quick when he played for the Rangers. Almost hated to see him come up in a game deciding situation.
He knocked in 93 runs. So of course the natural reaction is, well, is he coming to an end a little bit? I don't know. He still scares me when he steps in.
Oh yes, yeah, from both sides. I think he's quicker from the left side, so maybe that's why it's good that Manaea, the lefty's pitching tonight. We'll see what happens in the next couple of games.
And that one just missed on the outside corner.
That was called a strike yesterday. That's what Marvin Gonzalez and A.J. Hinch were upset about. He swung at a high pitch out of the strike zone, 3-1. On 3-2, pitched just off the outside. According to that, it was just off the plate.
So 2 on 2 out, and here's a familiar name to A's fans, Max Stassi. For a while, a very highly thought of prospect in the A's minor league system.
Yuba City up in Northern California.
Stassi was a 4th-round draft pick of the A's in 2009 and then went to Houston in 2013. And the A's traded for Jed Lowry.
He's always been a very good receiver. And remember in high school, his dad was his coach. And he had him call his own game, which is unusual in high school.
Scooped up by Chapman. He fires to second. Side retired. Astros strand a pair. 3rd inning coming up. No score. A's and Stros. Baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. John Lester heads to the disabled list. A little bit of a shoulder issue. The Cubs don't seem to think it's real serious, so just being careful. Good schedule in the American League this weekend. Indians at the Royals. Central battle there. Of course, the Yankees and the Red Sox. Angels and the Orioles. They're fighting for the wild card. And so are the Mariners and the Rays. So the American League wild card race, which is very tight, may have a little different look by Monday. Chapman pops it up right to Marwin Gonzalez, the shortstop, and he's got it. The 1 pitch, 1 out for Keuchel here in the third. And that'll bring up Matt Joyce. There's the wild card. The Yankees have the #1 wild card spot by 3.5 games over the Angels. Royals a half game back. Twins 1 game back. Mariners 1.5 back. The Rangers are also a game and a half back. They've been playing very well as of late. Rangers have won 7 out of 8.
It's amazing what getting Adrian Beltre back has done for them. Beltre back with the Rangers. Of course, got his 3,000th hit early part of the season on the disabled list. He's a leader in the clubhouse, on the bench, and definitely in the field.
First pitch to Matt Joyce. And he bunts it, and it is going to be fair. And that's a base hit.
That's a beautiful thing, isn't it? First hit of the game for the Athletics is Keuchel had retired 7 in a row. Well, fortunate hit the bag. It was pushed and pushed hard. Just kind of slapped at it. And it ended up looked like hitting the bag. Oh, it's rolling, rolling, rolling. And nope, did not. Just to the right of it. I still think in spring training you're going to start seeing more of the slug bunting, more of that with the shifts. And granted, 1 out, you're saying, well, you know, Keuchel's dealing. So maybe get him out of the stretch. Something could happen.
Anything just to disrupt them a little bit. There's Dustin Garneau.
High praise from Gordon Lanke, longtime scout, Major League Baseball, of course, for the Phillies. But he said the young catcher Garneau you got from the Rockies can catch. And he has shown that.
He hits that one hard, but foul. So 0-2 to Garneau. Rajay Davis will be next. It's blocked by Stassi.
Well, one thing, as we mentioned, Max Stassi can catch. He can block balls in the dirt. And while they may lose a little bit from the offensive standpoint with Gaddis and McCann both on the disabled list, catching-wise, this young man can do it. And I think with the offense of the Houston Astros, you don't really need your catcher to be that much of an offensive threat, although all positions are offensive, but you want that. Keep the runner at first base and double play instead of at second base in scoring position.
Well, I think that's too. When you think of the handful of catchers who are really good defensively and their offensive threats, that's why they are a big deal.
You said a handful. That's about it. Of 30, you may have a handful that's a complete pack.
We could go through the list, but there's not a lot.
No, there's not.
You know, the guy in St. Louis is terrific.
Do you know what happens, guys? I think that a handful is correct, because if you're a good offensive catcher, you may not be that good defensively. And to have the combination, Yadier Molina is the complete package. I mean, and there are others throughout Major League Baseball, but it's an offensive position which at times takes away from your main job and just what Max Stassi showed, and that is blocking balls in the dirt, handling the pitching staff. Evan Gaddis was a DH until he went to the minor leagues to become a catcher again, which he did in Atlanta. Ryan McCann, who we saw in Atlanta, his debut with John Smoltz pitching.
Well, look how important Salvador Perez is.
Oh, there's one that's a complete package.
I mean, I'm just going through. Look how important Posey is. I mean, but it's a short list.
That's right. To me, a handful is what, 5 or 6.
It's exactly.
You got
right.
big hands, maybe 6.
Runner goes and the ball's fouled at home plate. Even too, where you think about the Yankees,
Sanchez.
And Gary Sanchez, but now you're hearing the Yankees very concerned because he has not been very good defensively this year. But he's a great hitter.
He can throw, but not calling a game. That's right. Romine, when Tanaka was pitching, Romine pretty much caught him all the time because blocking balls in the dirt. I mean, you know, it takes that special player to be great on both sides.
Runner goes again. Bregman across to first, and that's a terrific play. So Joyce now at second base with 2 outs, but what a great play by Bregman.
He's made 3 very good plays in the last 2 innings, and this another good one. You have to just assume it's a fair ball, which it is, and called by the third base umpire. But that is a great play, thrown on the run, and he's able to get Garneau by plenty. But it does move Joyce in the scoring position, and you go back to what happened with Springer when he's picked off. Joyce did the right thing. He made sure Keuchel threw to the plate. It's immaterial trying to steal a base. If Garneau had struck out, he's going to be thrown out easily, but he's not going to be picked off. Now Rajay can come through with the 2-out hit, then the A's can perhaps score the first run.
As he chases that was a fastball, but moving away. Well, we're speaking of catchers, Ray. Stephen Vogt is coming back today for the Brewers. That's
great.
Good news.
That's great.
Runners in scoring position 237 against Keuchel. So the Brewers get Vogt back. Gurriel to his left, scoops it up. Side retired as Joyce is stranded. We're headed to the bottom of the 3rd. Marisnick to lead it off. No score.
Your #1 mobile app for live A's baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get A's home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today.
Marisnick to lead it off here in the bottom of the 3rd. He's the 9th place hitter. 247 with 14 home runs. 33 RBIs for Marisnick, hitting out of that 9th spot, so decent production.
There's a defensive specialist playing at a defensive position in center field, yet adding a little pop as well. They like his defense. And also with Taos Hill no longer there, he could play it even better. But he handled the incline in center field very nicely.
Foul tip, and the count is 2-2.
And then there was a game in Oakland. The Springer, remember, got hit. Marisnick went in and went off the charts, hit home runs, and did everything. He didn't even start the game in Oakland and ended up going in and having a great game.
Manaea's got it. Spins and throws just in time as Healy had to catch it and then try to get the heck out of the way. And he did.
Marissa can run, Sean.
Hey, congratulations to our good friend. We tease him a lot, but we tease him because we love him.
That's right. Wow.
Brody Brazil. Brody and his lovely wife, Amanda. Congratulations on Max Brazil. Good-looking little fella. And we only hope that Max has his mother's athletic ability, his mother's good looks, his mother's calm personality.
In other words, all Amanda.
Yeah.
Right? That's a good name, huh?
That is a good
That's
name.
a good name.
So, congratulations, Max Brazil. You know, Brody's nickname is Selfie.
Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that or not.
Selfie, or is that a
well, he
variation?
sends out a lot of pictures of himself. So what we would like now from Brody is to just send pictures of
Max and Amanda, or
Max
just
and Amanda,
yeah,
or
I mean,
Max.
But don't put yourself in it. I mean, that was a selfie right there, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he probably had one of those extensions.
Yes, exactly. So we want to see
congratulations.
Max.
That's great. But yeah, Brody, we see enough of you, and hear enough of you. So let's see more of Max.
Let's see Max.
Yeah.
Max with his mom.
Yeah.
His mom teaching Max how to play baseball. That's the stuff we want to see, right? Right?
That's perfect.
Yes.
That's perfect. I'm surprised he wasn't back to work today. Post was good, but you know, I'm surprised. Where's Brody?
Line drive right into the glove of Matt Chapman, 2 away.
I tell you, it's amazing just watching the facial expression. These Astros, and it was not that long ago, the A's were here and all these were hits. They were hits, and now you got that look of, you got to be kidding me. Another line drive at somebody. I mean, they're good. And you know, kind of looking at the standings, they've got a 12-game lead, like you mentioned. But you know, look around baseball. Thankfully, the wild card's there for a lot of teams, considering what the Astros, the Nationals, and the Dodgers are doing. And there's your 12-game lead. I mean, they'd have to completely tank to not win the division. Of course, the Rangers probably said that in 12 too, whenever they were thinking they were going to win the division, and the A's won it the last day of the season.
I don't think they had a 12-game lead, though.
No.
2-0 to Bregman. That's hit well to right field. Pinder's going back. Pinder runs on a run. Bregman with a solo shot to give the Astros a 1-0 lead.
Well, he's played defensively extremely well tonight, and he just takes a 2-0 fastball and goes opposite field. And that's probably the best thing that could happen to the Astros. For Sean Manaea, not so much, especially going opposite field, but the ball carries extremely well here, as we have seen. Easily to the opposite field, and short wall in right field.
So home run number 14 for Bregman, his third the opposite way. Altuve hits a towering pop-up foul territory. Healy is going to run out of room.
I was thinking the A's were here earlier when Morton gave up 2 home runs to Chris Davis, both to right field. And this is one park. I always think about Yankee Stadium, short porch and right field, where right-handed hitters can change their swing. And this park also, I mean, in right field, even left field, especially with the roof closed, this ball is going to carry very well.
High and deep to left field toward the Crawford boxes. Gone.
2-0 pitch and an 0-2 pitch. And 2 solo home runs. And how many times do we see this? Try to get the ball inside. Wrong place to try to go inside. And especially when you leave it down the middle of the plate at 89. When you have the short porch, short boxes in left field, you're inviting and asking for trouble if you try to go in and you make a mistake. Especially that area in left center where it kind of ducks back and then gets bigger. That is the best place to try to pitch away.
So for Altuve, his 19th home run of the year. Well, the Astros now lead it 2-0. One to Yuli Gurriel, who singled in the second inning. So the Astros leading the American League in home runs now with 193. 5 more than the Rangers. A's are 5th on that list, just ahead of the Rays. So that's one of the things the Astros do well. There's our guy. And that one's hit well. Rajai Davis back, though. Rajai's got room, and he makes the catch. So a couple of home runs. Bregman and Altuve go back-to-back here in the bottom of the third. 2-0 Astros after 3.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by Pete's Cold Brew. The true cold brew that's always cold, so it's always fresh. Pete's is coming in cold to a store near you.
2-0 top of the 4th inning. Solo home runs for the Astros in the bottom of the 3rd. So Simeon, Lowry, and Davis will try to start a little comeback against Keuchel. There's the low strike call.
You watch Max Stassi catch the ball and bring it up, and it's kind of the new style of catching with the palm of the mitt down and then kind of bring the ball up, and he does it pretty consistently.
So 1-2. Hit hard on the ground, but right to Marwin Gonzalez, who throws out Marcus Semien.
And that's what you don't want to do, roll over on a pitch that's outside, running away from you as a right-handed hitter. And that's why Keuchel gets so many ground ball outs. That's already 8 ground ball outs.
So here's Lowry. Angels leading the Orioles 5-4. One of those big series that we talked about a little bit earlier.
And the Angels have Andrew Heaney back from Tommy John surgery, and
that's big for them.
Big, huge down the stretch. They could get Garrett Richards back. Who knows what they could do? But for Andrew Heaney, made one start in 16, then had Tommy John surgery, and just making his first start tonight. So that's a pretty quick comeback, because I think it was July of 16 that he had the surgery. So 13 months and he's back on the mound.
Angels have won 7 out of 8. Now they're winning that game again 5-4 after 4 innings, Ray. 7 home runs have already been hit in the first 4 innings. 4 by the Angels, 3 by the Orioles.
7 of 9 runs total.
I think all the runs have come on home runs, and it's only through 4 innings. There was a rain delay in that game as well.
Just think, that game that the A's had on this Sunday in Anaheim, came back and won 11-10, 5 runs in the 8th. And the previous Sunday, the Angels had a 5-run lead, I think it was, against the Blue Jays, and Pierce had another walk-off slam. There's 2 games that they had won, or actually
should have won.
Should have won. Big leads in the 9th inning, 8th, 9th inning, and didn't. Man, they got to be thinking about those as they go down the stretch.
There's no question. I shouldn't say whatever happens to the Angels this year, but if they come up short, those will be the first 2 games they think about.
They have to think about it. The back end of the bullpen didn't hang on to win, and A's did not quit. 2 outs in the 8th inning. Scored the runs, and 5 runs on top of it. And A's have done well at the back end of a game after trailing.
Red Sox leading the Yankees 3-0, top of the 6th at Fenway.
That's always a huge series.
Yeah, that's a big one. And both teams playing well. The Yankees have won 4 in a row. They just swept the Mets. And the Red Sox, stretching it out a little bit, they have won 12 out of 14. The Red Sox have a 4-game lead in the East. So the Yankees just trying to fight back. Yankees also are the #1 wild card team.
Yeah, there was a article. Someone said, do the Yankees play for the division or the wild card? Well, you always play for the division. You take the wild card as a fallback. 4-game spread with a lot of baseball left, especially against themselves. They're playing each other. That's where the unbalanced schedule down at the end of the game or the end of the season really pays off.
Mariners leading the Rays 6-1, top of the 7th inning. Maybe the Rays get Kevin Kiermaier back, their center fielder. That's a lift for them, but they have really been struggling. So the question there is he back in time? The Rays have really not played well for a couple of weeks now.
You know, just like Heaney coming back and Kiermaier, like you mentioned, and these guys come back, it's almost like making a trade when they get somebody back. And probably the same for the Astros when they get their players who are injured back down the stretch. That could be as good as a trade.
I think the Mariners are hoping to get some of their pitchers back, but I just don't think they know if and when they're going to get it back.
Yeah.
The Mariners a game and a half out of the 2nd wild card, chasing the Angels. Another 2-2 to Lowry. And a changeup floats off the plate, so it's a full count.
10th pitch coming up, and that's working him very well. And from the A's standpoint, that's what they're trying to do, just work Keuchel. Shook off the fastball, shook off the changeup, back the fastball away.
And Keuchel knocks it down, finds it, throws to first, and that's a nice play. That ball was hit pretty hard.
You see the fastball running away. He doesn't have to throw the changeup. He can. But in the case of Lowry, he turns the ball over, sinker away, and he tried to pull it. And Keuchel finishes just like you're supposed to as a pitcher. See, up the middle, if the ball got by him, that maybe gets past Gonzalez into center field, but instead finishes, squares himself up, knocks the ball down, makes the throw.
You know, it's funny when you watch Keuchel pitch, and that last pitch right there was an example, and you're talking about the changeup and the fastball. But his changeup and fastball does the same thing.
Exactly.
Just a 7-8 miles per hour difference, and he makes a nice play there. So Dallas Keuchel showing it off tonight. It's 2-0 Astros. The banquet beer. On this date in 2002, T. Long hits 2 home runs in a 7-4 victory over the Chicago White Sox as the A's win game number 5 of their historic 20-game win streak. There's T. Long. Gone. T. Long. Gone. Plenty of room and plenty of runs for that man, Barry Zito.
Hook 'em.
So that was game number 5 of the 20-game win streak. Nothing big going on just yet. Just a nice little 5-game winning streak.
Well, Marwin Gonzalez, and I think it's interesting on this date, 50 years ago, Tony Conigliaro was beamed or hit and never recovered. See the facial? If Tony Conigliaro had been wearing what Marwin Gonzalez is wearing tonight, and has been ever since Chris Iannetta was hit, he and Correa both in the preventative went to this. They had it put on their helmets to kind of prevent from something happening. But 50 years ago, one of the young up-and-coming stars, Tony Conigliaro, was hit and never really recovered, and unfortunately passed away at a very young age in 1990. But he worked for KGO, San Francisco.
Really?
He came to San Francisco after, unfortunately, he never got his eyesight back. Broke the orbital bone just below the left eye. Never got his eyesight back.
But he did come back and
he
play
came
a
back.
little bit,
He
right?
came back, but it then just deteriorated.
Yeah.
But he hit 100 home runs before the age of 22. Never before has that ever been done. And it's still a record. But he went from playing high school baseball to Fenway, and his first at bat hit a home run at Fenway Park.
So he was a rising star.
It's hard to imagine. I mean, we see Giancarlo Stanton and what he's doing.
Yeah.
This kid was doing it at 22.
Sure.
And it's just unfortunate Jack Hamilton hit him. And, you know, they say it's a beanball. I mean, come on. Guys pitched inside. And unfortunately, sometimes they get away. And at Fenway Park, you have to really pitch inside. But this pitch, perfectly thrown outside corner. Gonzalez this time knew it. And fortunately for Sean Manaea, got it on the outside corner. But you know, the strange thing, we see Hawk Harrelson on a regular basis, of course, from the White Sox. It was Hawk that same year who was released by Charlie Finley in Kansas City. He signed with the Red Sox and actually took over after Tony C was injured and could not play the remainder of the season. Wow. And Hawk, of course, went from Kansas City making nothing to the Red Sox making a boatload of money.
Well, and you wonder then would the Red Sox have signed Hawk Harrelson if Conigliaro had not gotten hurt?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. You have Carl Yastrzemski, Tony Conigliaro in the same outfield, and at one time Billy Conigliaro, who played for the A's in '73, was a teammate of his brother in squashed it.
Reddick hits one very hard right back up the middle, so that's hit number 4 for the Astros.
You know, that was hit hard, but I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 handled by Keuchel up the middle tonight. This one hit hard, and Sean Manaea just could not get his glove down. But there's a base hit up the middle with Josh Reddick on an 0-2 pitch again.
Here's Carlos Beltran, who walked in the second inning. Just a .202 average this year for Beltran, batting right-handed. Beltran signed just a 1-year deal with the Astros.
Well, the Astros had all their young players that they signed and developed and lost 100 games, and at the time when they felt they were ready to win, which some predicted as long as 5 years ago that 2017 would be the year of the Astros, and really it's come to be exactly that.
Pinder waits. Pinder's got it.
But as we talked before, they had the young players, and then they added Beltran, the veteran. Reddick is signed as a free agent. Ryan McCann waived his no trade to come here to catch for the Astros. But you're right about the pitching. If they don't get the starting pitching, it could be tough in a short series. Ideally in postseason, you need 3. And that's why at times good hitters don't hit as well in postseason, because they're facing the best pitchers. But if you can get 2, maybe 3 quality starters, you can go a long way very deep in postseason.
Stassi takes in the dirt. Well, it was 2015 when the Astros finally put it all together after many losing seasons, and they were a wild card team, and quite frankly they were one double play grounder away from beating the Kansas City Royals. Think about that. Royals won it all.
That's right. Carlos Correa ready to catch the ball and
past him.
Step 1 second for a double play. And maybe one ill-advised tweet or text message from a local politician that said congratulations, they hadn't won yet. And you don't do that with the Royals, because the A's found out about the Royals in 14.
Stassi rips one toward left field. Joyce leaps up, and Matt Joyce with a terrific catch.
He knocked a number out of the out-of-town scoreboard when he caught it. That's pretty good.
He didn't like who was pitching for the Minnesota Twins.
Watch this. Great catch, and then continue. Put your hand up. I don't like it.
I don't like 54.
That's beautiful.
Top of the 5th inning. Nice play by Matt Joyce. May have saved a run. So now see if the A's can do something against Dallas Keuchel. He's been awfully good through the first 4 innings. The A's have just 1 hit. Joyce's bunt single. And there's a fastball, 86 miles an hour with a lot of movement.
Started in the middle of the plate, and all of a sudden it just starts floating away and catches the outside corner. It's really an unhittable pitch.
So as we were saying right as we went to break, Ray, with Keuchel, watch his fastball movement and watch his changeup movement.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, down and away to right-handed hitters.
About 7 miles per hour difference, but the movement and down and away.
That's the changeup. Yeah. He really does not throw inside a lot.
No. And he doesn't have to with the movement that he has. And you know, it's something really that Sean Manaea could learn about watching him as a lefty to lefty. And it's a good point you make, because if you don't pitch inside, you don't have to worry about making a mistake, which he did to Altuve in the 0-2. He tried to waste a pitch inside, left it middle of the plate, 0-2. It's hit out for a home run. Keuchel doesn't give you that opportunity, probably because the ball moves so much. He'll probably throw it at your hip, trying to get you to bail out of the way and then bring it back if he does pitch inside. Otherwise, middle of the plate away, let you try to flail at it. There it is.
So that pitch on the outside corner. Healy rolled over on it.
Smart play of the day brought to you by your California Ford dealers. How about Matt Joyce? He's got a bunt base hit, but how about a defensive play? In left field, Max Stassi, a line drive. Matt Joyce back, jumps, catches, and this is the best part. Get out of here. 54.
He doesn't like 54 from the Twins.
Maybe he's trying to brace himself and realize, I'm going to brace myself and they're just going to give with me. And he's going to eliminate the 5 and the 4. May have hurt his hand. I think he probably hurt himself more pushing those numbers out than he did in trying to brace himself and catch the ball.
That one is drilled down the left field line, but it's going to be foul. And it went past those gentlemen standing up against the fence in the upper deck. That's a long foul ball by Chad Pinder.
You know, the way he throws a breaking ball into right-handers, it's about all you can do. It's tough to keep the ball fair down the line. The breaking ball coming in.
That's a fair ball. Bregman again, and it's dug out by Gurriel. He's making that play look easy, and it's not.
Last 6 outs have been on the ground. And between Bregman and Keuchel in this game, they've made the plays. Foul territory. And nice scoop by Gurriel. Second time he's done that tonight. This time he knew that was just the second out. But Bregman knows that he can't stop and throw, so he has to throw on the move and hope to get it up, get it there high enough that it's going to be just a short hop for Gurriel.
Somebody asked for time, not sure who it was.
Late timeout, evidently, too.
Chapman popped out to the shortstop in the 3rd inning, went after the first pitch he saw. There's a little breaking ball, and it drops in there for a strike. There's just very few pitches in the middle of the plate. Yeah. And when it is in the middle of the plate, it's a first pitch curveball that guys generally don't swing at.
Exactly. See the A's with so many young players in the lineup, seeing it for the first time. And, you know, for Matt Chapman, and of course he's the only one now because the lefty's pitching. But he is seeing a lot of pitches. He's thinking, well, I've never seen these before.
So fastball 89. He overthrew that one a little bit.
It's great experience, though, for the players, the young players, veterans, whomever. A chance to face one of the best in the American League.
And a breaking ball on 2-2 is lined into left field for a hit. Bounces off the out-of-town scoreboard. And Chapman hustling to second, and he's got a 2-out double.
Thing about Matt Chapman, he is a good athlete. He has tremendous speed, and this breaking ball not all the way in as far as he wanted it. Keuchel did not have it in so far that he could pull a foul, and a good job by Matt Chapman. But once he knew it, look at him run. He can fly, and this is what you have to do, especially with a short porch in left field. Reddick plays it well, got it back in, but speed of Chapman able to get it.
So double number 14 for Chapman. Chapman has 35 hits this year, and 24 of them are extra base hits.
Chapman looking down at Altuve. What do you think Aaron Judge does?
Altuve's looking up at Judge going, remember when you were the American League MVP favorite? Not anymore.
That's right.
Altuve may be the favorite.
That's right.
So a chance for the A's to get on the board as Matt Joyce hits.
No bunt this time for Matt Joyce for 2 outs. He wants to try to drive in the runner. There's already been a run at second base, so they know the sign for the runner at second base.
22 balls and 46 strikes. Good ball strike ratio, 68 pitches total, so that's a decent number. One to Joyce. Keuchel with just 1 strikeout. Chris Davis in the 2nd inning. Joyce is the only left-handed hitter in there against Keuchel, so see if Keuchel kind of changes the way he goes at hitters. There was the fastball with that movement down and in. But would he throw a changeup?
Wow. If you watch Jamie Moyer pitch a lot, he would, because Jamie Moyer did it. But with that kind of movement, it's like a right-hander throwing a hard slider inside the way Keuchel throws to the right-handers with his slider. Hard to keep it fair. It's hard to get it elevated, too. Well, 8th inning on Tuesday against the Kansas City. And this is opposite field. Minor, triple or double, 3 runs scored. A's scoring 6 in the bottom of the 8th inning. 11 runs scored between the two teams. Marcus Semien with a 2-run, 2-out single, that is, to get the insurance run. See, if he hits that ball the same way here, it's a 2-run home run to Crawford boxes.
Oh, easy. No question. I don't know that Altuve's home run would have went out at the Coliseum. But it doesn't matter because we're not at the Coliseum.
There's Keuchel telling him what he's going to throw.
Yeah. And Jerry Lane's not happy. They don't play him.
Well, according to the commissioner, next year there's going to be a 20-second clock for the pitchers and fewer visits to the mound.
Good. And the 3-2 pitch is low. So Matt Joyce on base for the 2nd time, and now it's up to Garneau.
Garneau's 2 RBIs that come in one game, a 2-run single, a game in which Paul Blackburn shut out the Angels in Anaheim. Bob Melvin would like to see the same thing. But you know what, Ken? I think Keuchel is so much more comfortable pitching against righties.
I agree.
That may have been, I'm going to throw it low if he goes for it. If not, I got a chance to get a ground ball, get a force out, get out of the inning.
I agree. I don't think he had any problem walking Matt Joyce.
If you've recorded 12 ground ball outs and you're in the 5th inning, I don't think there's any problem back in Keuchel's mind that he has with a couple of runners on base.
And it's quickly 0-2.
A's have to be hopeful that he can make a mistake and Darno can get into one.
To pitch. Here it is. And sinks it down and away. Keuchel delivers. And that one is hit off the end of the bat foul, so the count remains 1-2. Nothing else. The A's are making Keuchel throw some pitches here in the 5th inning. He's at 23 this inning, and he was really kind of rolling along. Now he's ready. Chapman at second, Joyce at first, and the pitch is hit hard. Backhanded, picked by Gonzalez. He throws to first, and they got him. More great defense by the Astros. We've seen quite a bit of it tonight. That one was by Marlon Gonzalez.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by 21st Amendment. Join our August Fest party on August 26 from 12 to 6. Visit 21stamendment.com for details.
So bottom of the 5th inning, the Astros 2 and the A's nothing. Sean Manaea has done a pretty good job tonight, but he gave up back-to-back home runs, Bregman and Altuve. That was in the 3rd inning. But certainly looks a lot better than he has in his last 3 starts.
Absolutely. That's a big thing. He's way past his last 3 starts as far as innings pitched. He's already pitching in the 5th inning.
Marisnik skies one foul. The count 1-1. This was the play that ended the inning, and this could have been a run for the A's.
Well, he looked to second, no chance there, so on to first base. Longer throw. But when you have a pitcher, 13 ground ball out, your infield's ready. And that was number 13. 1 fly ball out, 1 strikeout for Dallas Keuchel through 5 innings.
Just missed. 3-1.
Gonzalez, the versatile player, as you mentioned, Kipe, and he's showing his versatility here as he thought about second and realized they've got to go across the diamond. Plenty of time with Garneau running.
And a fastball at 89 miles an hour. So now it's 3-2. Where's Nick? Bounce back to the pitcher's last at bat. And grounded right to Lowry. Lowry flips to first, and that's out number 1. Well, Ray, we got sad news. We lost one of the great A's fans earlier this week, Paul Rose, who, remember we used to see Paul at Root Beer Float Day and at the Fan Fest, and he was at the ballpark. But we found out on Tuesday that Paul had passed away. So
I always enjoyed seeing him at Fan Fest, Root Beer Float Day, and he would come up and get all excited, get autographed, get root beer float. That's a great picture. That's one that you can keep forever.
Yeah, so we send our condolences to Paul's family. He's from Clayton. He was just 32 years old. So
nice young man. Yeah. Nice young man.
Making him laugh was so much fun.
It was fun.
Because once he started laughing, he couldn't stop. So we just kept making him laugh more.
Right. Yeah, what a nice young man.
He watched all of our games. He loved watching. He was a good fan.
Well, you think of all the great fans the A's have had in their followings for next year, the 50th season.
That's right.
50th anniversary. And that was one of the good ones. He's 32. He probably been a fan for 32 years.
Yep, no question. But it also makes you realize that, you know, how important the A's and how important our telecasts are to people, because they sit down and they watch and pull for the team. Simeon's got it. Simeon throws in time. So 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Well, no doubt Paul's a believer. This is a good young club, going to be good in the future, and all those people watching and paying attention to the A's, and they know they're going to be good in the future, just like the Astros are right now, as Bregman got the Astros on the board with an opposite field home run. That was a 2-0 fastball. Then the next batter, Altuve, on an 0-2 pitch, hit a home run to left field. But Bregman going the opposite field. He got it started. His defense tonight at third has been spectacular.
Could be a quick inning. Chapman hustling down the line, and Chapman makes the catch. And how about that? A 10-pitch inning for Sean Manaea, and he gets his first 3-up, 3-down inning. 6th inning coming up. The double dose of all A's. Ryan Healy and Chad Pinder join Brody Brazil at Pan Coast Pizza in Walnut Creek. Here how life is in the 4-bedroom house they share with Matt Chapman and Matt Olson. See if their skills on the diamond translate to the kitchen. All A's premieres tonight after post-game live. What do you think, Ray?
I think you would love that.
Oh my goodness.
As much as you like pizza?
Oh,
I'm surprised you weren't in there.
Can't hardly concentrate right now. 2-0, the Astros lead behind Dallas Keuchel. Keuchel bringing a 10-2 record into this start. And he jumps ahead of Rajai Davis 0-2.
Well, I think a lot of times a pitcher, although missed 8 weeks, and you mentioned a couple of times on the DL, but pitchers know the success they've had against a certain team. And when that happens, I don't care how poorly he had batted pitched in the past, but he's faced a team that's in 11 consecutive quality starts. And he continues tonight as he's pitching into the 6th inning with a fastball that just kept running up and in. It was like a high cutter at 90 miles per hour, but it kept going, so he gets a rare strikeout.
Keuchel's been on the disabled list twice this year, but it's been just a neck issue.
Yeah.
So it was not his arm last year. Remember, he was kind of rolling along, having a so-so year. But in August, he just said that's it. His shoulder was bothering him, and he missed the rest of the year. But it was not an arm issue this year.
Well, wasn't he part of that 10-day disabled list? Came back and he went back on with the same injury.
So yeah.
And you see that so
this
often.
year, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
this year, right. See it so often with the 10-day, and they say just like John Lester, he'll miss 1, maybe 2 starts, but who knows how much it might go or how far. Bryce Harper put on a 10-day, and I'm sure the Nationals hoping he comes back sooner than later.
Gonzalez has it, straightens up, throws across, 2 away. Well, Keuchel will be a free agent after the 2018 season, so the Astros will have him this year and next year. And at that point, he'll be 30 years old. And I think the biggest thing, he's going to want a big contract, as he should, and he deserves it. I think if he can show that he can stay durable, he will get a huge contract. And he has a quick inning there, a strikeout, a couple of ground ball outs, bottom of the 6th coming up, 2-0 Stros. Brought to you by McDonald's. On this date in 2012, Houston native Adam Dunn becomes the 50th player to hit 400 career homes. Joins teammate Paul Konerko with the White Sox in reaching the milestone that season, making them the first teammates in baseball history to hit their 400th home run in the same year playing for the same team. Adam Dunn, Reds, D-backs, Nationals, White Sox. And remember, he finished his career with the Athletics. 462 career home runs. Lots of strikeouts, lots of walks.
How about 8 opening day home runs? I remember that. And remember when he hit his opening day home run in Cleveland and ended up having appendicitis. Came back too quickly. They called him the Big Donkey. And on September the 1st, he hit the home run. And unfortunately, when he got to postseason in 2014, he did not get in the lineup. But you know what? You're going to remember as much as I do. When we got to Chicago, his former team, outside the clubhouse, there was this beautiful big golf cart. And he said, how the heck am I going to get that home?
That's right.
But it was there, a gift from his former teammates, and it was big.
Altuve homered in the 3rd, and he lined out in the 1st. So 1 for 2.
It's a pretty good year. 361 batting average.
He's got 35 doubles. He's got 3 home runs, or excuse me, 3 triples. 19 home runs. He's got 26 stolen bases. And look at the ranks. So what do you think, Ray? Aaron Judge was kind of the talk of baseball the first 3 months. He has cooled off. He still has a whole bunch of home runs, and he's still having a very fine season.
He's a rookie.
But he's a rookie, and he has cooled off. I don't know that there's another guy that jumps out. Trout missed a lot of time. Trout's having a terrific season, but he also missed a lot of time. Well, this may be the best opportunity for Altuve to win the MVP, because it may be tough for Trout to do unless he just goes crazy the final 5-6 weeks of the season. But Altuve, he's been solid from day one.
And especially if Trout's on a team and the Angels do find a way to get into October.
But he's going to be, Altuve's going to be in the top 3.
See, that pitch was a little bit up and away, and he ended up flying out to right field. He made a mistake on him trying to go inside earlier. The previous at bat, hit a home run. I'd say when in doubt, pitch away.
Here's Gurriel, who has singled and hit a fly ball to center field. That one catches the outside corner, says Jerry Lane.
One of the things about Gurriel coming from Cuba, most games they ever played in the season was 90 games, and that's one of the things. Remember when Cespedes came here? Same thing. You start playing a lot of games. 162 here, and a lot of off days playing. I know playing in winter ball in Venezuela. You know, you'd have off days and play a limited schedule over the course of 3 or 4 months. And you're accustomed to having those off days pretty regular. Then all of a sudden you're playing 12, 15 games consecutively. Makes a big difference on your body.
And he rips that one to center field, and that's a base hit. Gurriel's 2 for 3. Gurriel, and this is his rookie year. He played in 36 games last year, so he's considered a rookie this year.
An older type rookie after playing years in Cuba. But it's high fastball, good hitting, taking it right back up the middle.
Yeah, he's 33 years old. He turned 33 on the 9th of June, so you're right. He's not a young player, but he was one of the more well-known Cuban players. And decided that he wanted to come to the States. Gurriel got a 5-year, $47 million contract from the Astros.
Probably could survive on that.
Yeah, he's going to be just fine.
Not have to pay any state income tax in Texas. He'd do all right. Probably played for a lot less than that in Cuba, hitting those 250 home runs.
But he kind of worked his way through the minor leagues last year. Quick stops everywhere. And the plan all along was for him to at some point later in the year to get to the big leagues, and he did. and he was productive. And this year, settling in as an everyday player and having a very nice season. He had a younger brother who's signed with the Blue Jays.
I think so.
0-2 pitch is in the dirt.
Good block by Dustin Garneau. A little movement to his left, anticipating the dirt, the slider in the dirt.
One-two pitch is popped up left side of the diamond. Chapman step onto the outfield grass, grabs it, and that's the second out.
Well, one thing about Sean Manaea, with the exception of the fastball that he missed inside to Altuve, he has made some quality pitches in a part of the plate. Good to see him pitching now in the 6th inning. Just 89 pitches, and considering his only last 3 appearances, only going 6 2/3, he may have 200 pitches in him tonight.
Maybe.
But probably not. It's
one of the new A's, Chris Hatcher, warming up in the bullpen. There's Reddick.
And that's not Mickey Hatcher or Billy Hatcher. It's those guys. That's Hatcher played against the A's and performed well. This Hatcher is a former Dodger, now with the Athletics.
Reddick has hit a fly ball to right, and he has singled. Shift is on for Reddick, and that one's under the glove of Garneau. So Gurriel will head to second base.
Got to get the glove. Actually, the ball snuck up on him so quickly as a fastball that the old theory is that fastball you don't expect to be thrown in the dirt. More likely the pitch will get by a catcher when that happens.
That one inside, and now it's 3-0. Carlos Beltran is the on-deck hitter. And Reddick takes it for a strike. He may have had the green light.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well, because figured that they'd give him a pitch to hit instead of Beltran in the on-deck circle.
Three-one pitch is drilled toward right center, and that's going to get down. Pinder cuts it off, but Gurriel is going to come in to score, so a big 2-out hit for Reddick, and the wild pitch hurts the Athletics.
Well, they took the 3-0 fastball, got a better fastball 3-1, and maybe, just maybe, the fact that he was aggressive. That's the last pitch thrown by Sean Manaea, and maybe the elevation of the fastball is still down to the lefty, and Josh Reddick didn't miss it.
So 5 2/3 innings tonight for Sean Manaea.
Well, listen, this is how you're feeling, I guess.
Maybe they're not making a pitching change.
So he's going to let him. And you know, this might be also to keep Beltran hit if the right side instead of turning him around with Hatcher the left. The righty coming to face him left-handed. So that was, can you get him out? I can get him out. A pitcher, I don't think would be too smart if the manager says, "Can you get him out?" He says, "No."
You know, I'm not sure.
You better get me out of here, Skip. I don't know if I can get him out.
So here is Beltran in the first pitch. Line toward left center field. Rajay Davis makes the catch, tumbles over, and hangs on. Side retired.
Looking
got to replace his
legs.
divot. Let's hope he's okay. 3-0 Astros lead. Cast is back on NBCSportsCalifornia.com. It's brought to you by Max Muscle. Log on each week as our A's insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball with players, coaches, special guests, and more. It's available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify. Latest guest is A's Chief Operating Officer Chris Giles. So check it out.
Still waiting for you.
Yeah, Joe teased me a little bit the other day. He said, "Hey, I'd like to have you on." I just played hard to get. I was like, I don't know, Joe, if I have time.
Did you say October or November? Well, Rajay, the chuckle was because as he stumbled a little bit, but as he catches the ball, and he rolls over and he looks back between his legs. That was like making sure that everybody, what's the third out?
The third out.
So he could just come in, but that's the divot. And Joyce went over to replace the divot.
Back-to-back changeups to Chris David, and it's 1-2.
And here comes another.
Yep.
I mean, there's no reason not to, or at least to throw a sinker down and away.
So a fastball high.
Teaser.
Yep.
Well, he already has his quality start. Now going for the quality start plus.
Another high fastball. So the count 3-2. Healy to follow, then Pinder. 3-0 the Astros lead. Davis had a good rip at that pitch.
3 consecutive fastballs. I don't know a hitter can look for his changeup. Maybe the two-seamer away and think right field. But he throws his fastball and changeup the same.
Strike 3 called. 1 away. Huh. Third strikeout for Keuchel.
Well, there's your low strike, and it was called by Jerry Lane from the beginning of the game.
So one away, and here's Healy. Healy has grounded out twice, once to third and once to short. Angels still leading the Orioles. It's now 7-5 in the bottom of the 7th in Baltimore. So they're East Coast, some nasty weather, but looks like all games are being played, so that's good news.
Yeah.
We have to dodge the raindrops a little bit all weekend. 2-0 pitch is high.
Got a lot of rain in this great state of Texas, too.
Yep.
Don't have to worry about here because of the roof, but I think one game canceled one time because fans could not get to the game because of the flooding.
So 3-1 the count. Here's a good look at Minute Maid Park here in Houston. And that's a base hit through the right side. So Healy goes with the pitch, and he's got his first hit.
And season ticket memberships for the 2018 season are on sale as part of the A's new innovative program focused on increased benefits, flexibility, and discounts. The program rewards tenure and include exciting discounts on concessions, eliminates ticket exchange limitations, and provides exclusive new experiences and events for members. Renew or purchase new season ticket memberships now at athletics.com/2018, and we encourage you to do so because things are looking brighter and brighter for the Athletics.
There's your buddy, Bobby Dynamite.
That's it.
Big chopper. Bregman fires a second for one, and that's a double play. 5-4-3. And the Astros turn a big double play. So the A's get nothing, and it's 7th inning stretch time in Houston.
NBC Sports California is brought to you by Kona Brewing Company. Enjoy some ice-cold liquid Aloha tonight.
So 3-0 Astros lead. It's the bottom of the 7th inning here in Houston. And when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. It's your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog expert. So Chris Hatcher comes in. Newest Oakland A. He made his A's debut on Wednesday. Pitched 1 inning, had a strikeout. Coming over from the Dodgers. So the A's will give Hatcher a nice long look here at the end of this 2017 season to see if he's part of the bullpen for 2018. So the numbers for Sean Manaea: finishes with 95 pitches, 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. So much better performance by Manaea tonight.
A lot better.
"50 different players used by the Athletics." Wow. Lots of injuries, lots of transactions.
Well, Sean Manaea tonight, all 3 runs came with 2 outs. Got the back-to-back home runs in the 3rd inning, the 2-out single by Josh Reddick. So getting that 3rd out in the inning, this could be a scoreless game in the 7th. Instead, the Astros have a 3-0 lead. Keuchel 17 ground ball outs.
So 3-0 to Max Stassi, with Marisnick to follow, and then Springer. Pitcher deals, and that one catches the outside corner. Pop foul back, and now the count is full. Rajai Davis in and over, and Rajai grabs it. So that's the first out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, our first final is in. The Seattle Mariners beat the Tampa Bay Rays 7-1. It was the Nelson Cruz show. Cruz had a home run and 2 doubles. Nelson Cruz now has 30 home runs and 98 RBIs. Erasmo Ramirez got the win.
Cruz had a pretty good career with the Mariners. I mean, he's had very good numbers, and from all indications, the Mariners wanted him the year that he spent in Baltimore when he went off the chart with 40+ home runs. They could have had him another year.
Good pitch by Hatcher, and it's 0-2. So with that win, the Mariners go back over the 500 mark at 62-61. So they'll watch that Angels game closely. Marisnick bounces it to Chapman, who scoops it up. And Marisnick, who's very fast, hustling down the line, but he's retired. So that's 2 away here in the 7th. And the Mariners, so they get a win. And I looked at their schedule today, Ray, and I was caught off guard. That is the first game of a 12-game road trip. When was the last time you saw a 12-game trip?
Well,
and I even double-checked to make sure I wasn't seeing things. Tampa Bay, Atlanta, New York, and Baltimore.
4 cities?
4 cities.
Maybe that's why the A's are traveling more miles than anybody this year, because they only have 2 3-city trips, 1 in April and 1 in September, and that's it.
4 city.
That's a 4. I've never heard of that.
No.
3-city, yes, but not 4.
And there's 1 day off. They have an off day. I think it's next Thursday. That's Chris Davinsky in the Astros bullpen. All on the East Coast.
Well, that's good.
That is good.
Yeah, you staying in the same time zone. I've never heard of a 4-city 12-game road trip. Good to know your teammates.
It probably, not probably, I mean, it does. It saves them 1 extra East Coast
absolutely.
trip.
Absolutely. Who are the teams again?
Tampa Bay, which is where they're at now, Atlanta, New York, Baltimore. So it's all
up and
all
down the
right
coast,
there.
Yeah. The only thing that could hurt them is that all these weather storms that they're talking about could have an effect on them.
1-2 now to Springer. As they caught Jerry Lane in the, looks like maybe the left forearm, or left hand.
You see where Lane's set up and how the ball hits and comes up and gets him hard.
Maybe in the hand. Yeah. On the bounce. That's not good.
Well,
you know what? They're going to take him out.
Take him out.
Yeah.
This is going to take at least probably 10 minutes for third base umpire Estabrook. Or would he be added to the first base umpire who'd be in line for tomorrow? Probably take him out to get an X-ray.
Well, for him,
to have to
like that, that's not good.
Yeah.
So let's hope Jerry Lane is going to be okay.
Yeah. The small balls, we talk about hitters, but an umpire as well, he's unprotected. The ball coming up from behind the catcher.
Yeah, ball hit the dirt first.
Yeah.
So as the umpiring situation changes here, let's hope Jerry Lane's okay, and we'll step aside. We'll be back to Houston in just a moment.
On NBC Sports California is brought to you by the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon. By Southwest, Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By AAA, get a free canvas backpack. Restrictions apply. Go to AAA.com/roadtrip or to a AAA branch for details. By the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. And by Xfinity. X1 will change the way you experience TV.
As part of the A's 50th anniversary team next season, fans can vote for up to 50 Oakland Athletics from a list of the top all-time A's greats. Voting is open now at athletics.com/50 and will be active until the end of the 2017 regular season. The Oakland Athletics 50th anniversary team will be honored at events during the 2018 season. That's 50, F-I-V-E-Z-E-R-O. 50, not the number 5 and the letter number 0. It's 50, the 2 words. Well, that was pretty quick change. 5 minutes it took for the umpire to run in, disrobe, put on the gear from underneath. And he said, do you want to, Darno saying, do you want to take some pictures? And
so we're going to get back at it here. I think that's Ryan Addison.
Addison, yeah.
Yeah, who we have not really recognized.
He didn't look like somebody we knew, right? Yeah. And we do know that there are only 3 umpires. There's
Springer skies one, foul territory, Healy over, and it's back into the crowd.
You know, when a player comes in, whether it's infield or outfield pitcher, he gets 8 tosses. I wonder if the umpire gets 8 looks. Or he just gets behind the plate and makes the call.
So they're saying it is Dan Bellino. So.
Bellino? Okay. So Bellino is the second base umpire tonight. Estabrook was behind the plate last night. See, he didn't get to make a call. That's amazing. 2 pitches and he's out of there.
He rushed for that. All right, so 3-0 as we head to the 8th.
The A's are renaming D-Gate after Baseball Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley at 4 p.m. on Friday, August the 25th. Members of X-Family and former teammates Ricky Henderson, Connie Lansford, Mike Moore, Terry Steinbach will attend. Also join us for Dennis Eckersley Day on Saturday the 26th when 15,000 fans will receive an Eckersley bobblehead presented by Chevron Extra Mile. Visit athletics.com/tickets.
So 3-0 the Astros lead. It's the top of the 8th inning. be Chapman, Joyce, and Garneau against Chris Davinsky, who's pretty good. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog expert. 6-3, 2.70 ERA. Lots of strikeouts for Davinsky.
He gives up nothing to the Athletics. I mean, it's amazing. It's like one guy, Keuchel, he gets all the ground ball outs, then Davinsky comes in and he gets strikeouts.
Gurriel drifting over, and it's going to be just into the seats. So 1-2 the count. So Dallas Keuchel, tough on the A's again. 7 shutout innings, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, finishes right at 100 pitches. So Keuchel looking for his 11th win of the year. So 2-2 to Chapman, who has hit a pop-up to short, and he has doubled. So he has one of the 3 A's hits.
See the changeup that he likes to throw a lot. Davinsky to righties and lefties.
82 miles an hour, and it's a little funky. It may not be the windup in the delivery and the follow-through that you would teach your kid, but it works, and I think there's some deception involved with Davinsky. Nice big hop for Marwin Gonzalez. His throw a little bit high, but Gurriel stays with it. So 1 out here in the 8th inning. Well, Xfinity X1 customers say, show me the Oakland A's into your X1 voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. So 1 away here in the top of the 8th inning, and Matt Joyce steps up. A single and a walk for Joyce. And the first pitch in the dirt. Well, the Yankees scored 2 in the 6th and 4 in the 7th, and the Yankees now lead the Red Sox 6-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Boston had an early 3-0 lead in that game. Well, the Yankees storming back at Fenway. And the rolled foul bounces off the facing of the Astros dugout. Indians pounding the Royals 9-1 in the top of the 7th inning in Kansas City. Well, that's a chance for the Indians to extend their lead in the Central. There's the changeup, and it's a strike, 81 miles an hour.
Throws at the left-handers about half the time because it's so good. It kind of floats away like Keuchel's does to right-handers. His does it to the lefties.
And there it is again. Yeah, that one dropped low.
Cap, in 2 years, he's made 11 appearances against the Athletics, 31 strikeouts. 31 strikeouts in 11 appearances. There's Maxwell in the on-deck circle to hit for Garneau.
That one hit to right field and hit deep. Springer to the wall, and that baby's gone. Long home run for Matt Joyce to get the A's on the board.
Well, I'll be honest with you, shocked that he threw him a 3-2 fastball, but Matt Joyce does not miss it. Waiting for it, got it, no changeup. And for a guy that throws a changeup a lot, that is a great swing by Matt Joyce. That is the first run he's given up to the A's in the last 9 appearances. And a 3-2 fastball. You know, that may have been a case of a catcher calling the fastball with a 3-0 lead instead of maybe calling the changeup. And Davinsky just went with it because that is so strange to see that. Strong's pitching coach. Like he's talking to Stassi more than Davinsky. Kaminsky did make a start last year on April the 30th. That was early in the season, then went to the bullpen. Multiple innings that he has been able to throw for A.J. Hinch.
So here is Maxwell, and he takes low. So Garneau in his 2 at-bats rounded out a couple of times. Two and 0. Astros bullpen on the year has a 4.22 ERA, which is 10th in the American League. But better in August. ERA just under 2 in August, so they've been good lately. That's Ken Giles. He's the closer. Best bullpen ERA in the month of August. We're down the left field line to foul. As we showed you the injury list for the Astros, Will Harris, Michael Feliz, and Tony Sipp all on the disabled list. 3 pretty important relievers. So they don't have those 3, but they added Liriano and just recently Tyler Clippard. That one down the left field line, and that one is fair. Into the corner, and Maxwell with a big turn, and Maxwell's going to stop at first. So Reddick hustled over there, and he really got to it before the ball went all the way into the corner.
And Maxwell rounded first base aggressively, but fortunately stopped as this change up away from Maxwell. He just featured it out to left field and just inside the line. Matt Olson hitting for Rajay Davis. And you know, that's why it's important that Keuchel went 7 innings, because the guys you mentioned are usually the setup guys to get to Giles. Gregerson's still there, but you go 7 innings, you can mix and match in the 8th inning to get your closer, or the closer can come in the 8th inning. So the lefty's on the bench with Keuchel, the lefty, starting.
And here's Matt Olson hitting for Rajay Davis. So the A's get the tying run to the plate here in the 8th inning. An opportunity for Melvin to throw up a power hitter, and A.J. Hinch pops out of the dugout. And with 1 out here in the 8th inning and the tying run at the plate, A.J. Hinch is going to his closer. Davinsky does not look like a happy camper. So Giles coming in. 1 away here in the top of the 8th inning. We'll be back. .730, Chris Wondolowski and the Quakes are locked in a battle for playoff position as they face the Philadelphia Union at beautiful Avaya Stadium. The home of the authentic Earthquakes fan is NBC Sports California. So that'll be coming on right after A's baseball tomorrow. And here at Minute Maid, Astros 3, A's 1. A's have a run in on Joyce's home run, a runner at first, and Matt Olson is the hitter, and Ken Giles comes in. Giles is the closer. If he's going to get a save tonight, he'll have to get 5 outs. So the count is 1-0. A little bit outside, 2-0. Olson hitting for Rajay Davis.
AJ Hinch was on the bench. You can see him maybe talking to Brent Strom. Was that a changeup when Davinsky was pitching? So I don't know. Maybe he just did not see something that he liked with Davinsky that he wanted to go to Giles.
Olson goes around.
And usually the very patient Matt Olson swung at ball 3. Started and figured he got a good pitch to hit. And it's a lot of body moving, not so much the bat, but called a strike anyway by the home plate umpire.
Two-one pitch is a strike, 99 miles an hour, right on the outside corner. So this is a pretty good pitch by Giles.
It's called an unhittable, especially at 99, unless he just swung late and singled to left field.
Two-two pitch. Looks like a little slider or something.
Yeah, somebody coming into his wheelhouse.
Well, on Sunday against the Rangers, AJ Hinch brought Giles in with 2 on and nobody out in the 8th inning. And that was the first 2-inning save of his career. 5 days later, he's in the 8th inning with 1 out. Just missed outside, and now the count is full. Marcus Semien waits in the on-deck circle.
Wasn't even close. Well, you got to gear fastball, and if you get a breaking ball, make an adjustment. It's going to be coming into you as a breaking pitch. Fastball, maybe a little bit away, and that's a heater away, fastball away that Giles is going to throw to Olson.
Olson hits it foul into the upper deck.
I really believe that if the pitcher throws a 2-2 slider and misses, he's going to come back with a fastball on a 3-2. Especially if the 2-2 slider was as bad as the one that Giles just threw. One is a fastball. That is a fastball, and that's a fastball away. Crawford box is waiting.
And it's grounded. Altuve. Altuve flips to second for 1 on the first double play. With the shift on, Astros turn the double play. Giles comes in and does his job. The A's do get a run on Matt Joyce's 18th home run of the year. So as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, it's now Astros 3 and the A's 1. Here's our game summary for tonight, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 1-5-1 for the A's, 3-6-0 for the Astros. Astros went back-to-back in the third inning. Bregman and Altuve did the damage there. For the A's, Matt Joyce, a solo home run. That's the A's only run. Keiko was terrific, 7 innings. Manaea was good, 3 earned runs in 6 innings. So the A's have one more chance in the top of the 9th inning. Here in the bottom of the 8th, it'll be Bregman, Altuve, and Gurriel against Chris Hatcher. Crowd tonight here at Minute Maid Park, 30,908. So a pretty nice Friday night crowd. And that is right at about what the Astros are averaging this year.
And then open the roof for the fireworks.
That's right.
Following tonight's game.
Out of the 30 teams in the big leagues, the Astros are 15th in average attendance per game, so they're right in the middle. But they've also seen their attendance increase in each of the last 5 years. How about that? Chad Pinder is in center field. Olson in right. Maxwell is the catcher.
Chad played some center field on his rehab assignment.
What a play by Chapman. Gets up, throws, and he took a hit away from Bregman. They'll probably be doing that to each other for a while.
Exactly. Now Phil Garner is in town. Of course, played for the A's in the 70s, managed the Astros. Good friend of Bob Melvin. I said, watch this kid at third base. You're going to like him. And I'd say that Phil Garner right now is very pleased and happy to watch Matt Chapman. Great infielder himself was Phil Garner. And Matt Chapman will make this play. And once he gets the ball in his glove, forget it. Cannon to first base.
So here's Jose Altuve. Altuve 1 for 3 with that home run into the Crawford boxes in the 3rd. Altuve with 1 hit tonight, so he's 32 hits away from what would be his 4th straight season of 200 or more hits. So 40 games left after tonight. He can certainly do that. It seems sort of automatic with Jose Altuve. There's the hit totals the last 5 years.
I have to Photoshop that face and get the beard off. It's clean shaven. He shaved right after they took that picture. He shaved. Said, "What too old?" You know, the one thing that he has been able to do his career, the Astros, is that, well, yeah, but be aggressive. I mean, he's as aggressive as a hitter that you'll ever see, and he knows the strike zone, covers the strike zone. And another 2 for 4 tonight, but breaking ball adjusted with a high leg kick, off the plate quite a bit. Takes the breaking ball right back up the middle.
So hit number 7 for the Astros. Gurriel, he's got a couple of them. White Sox leading the Rangers 3-2 in the bottom of the 7th inning in Arlington. Rangers coming in a game and a half back of the 2nd wild card spot, so they're in it. A little bit inside with a fastball. Red Sox have come back to score 4 in the bottom of the 7th, and now they lead 7-6. So typical Red Sox-Yankees game going back and forth. Probably pretty good atmosphere at Fenway Park tonight. Still a couple innings to play. 1-1 the count to Gurriel. Marwin Gonzalez will be next.
Tonight at Fenway, I mentioned about Tony Conigliaro. They have an exhibit they unveiled with Billy Conigliaro there to unveil with his brother. And the 50th anniversary of Tony C being hit. So quite a night at Fenway Park. And if it's Yankees, that game has been sold out probably since they put the tickets up for sale last winter. Not a bad idea to throw over because Altuve can do a lot of things, including steal bases. He started the double play on Olsen, flipping the ball about 30 feet underhand perfectly to Gonzalez at second.
Ball. Maybe not a fastball, but a pitch in on Gurriel. So 24 pitches thrown by Hatcher. Altuve does not have a real big lead at first. He's not running. Ball's chopped toward Chapman. Chapman on the run to first base to get the out there. Altuve goes to second, 2 outs.
Something that Chapman does so well, we talk about, and we're going to see a lot, where he charges the ball and able to throw it very hard on the move. The only way he could have thought about getting Altuve was to stop and throw back across his body, but not much of a chance to do that. So take the sure out, 2 outs, and be done at that point. And that's all you have to do. Try to get the 3rd out for Hatcher, and that is get back to the dugout, trailing by 2.
So here's Marwin Gonzalez. Gonzalez is 0 for 3. Gonzalez, switch hitter. He's a significantly better hitter from the left side, at least this year. 333 as a left-handed hitter, 258 as a right-handed hitter.
Except for yesterday in the 3-2 pitch, the 9th inning.
He gone.
He gone. The Hawks down in Texas with Stoney.
Yep. Our good friends, Hawk and Stoney.
That's right. Road series, so Hawks on the road with the White Sox and Steve Stone in Texas.
Fastball inside. Pitch. Runner goes, and it's dropped by Maxwell, so Altuve can have a stolen base. He had a good jump.
Now, there's not many second or shortstops going to hold a runner at third base with 2 outs. As Ricky said, Ricky never stole third. Ricky, who knows how many more he could have had, given third base the way that one was. That was the shift. Altuve is down the line at third quite a bit.
And the 3-0 pitch. Gonzalez pops it up. Maxwell and Olsen, and it's going to be, not Olsen, Healy, excuse me. So Healy right in front of the Astros dugout makes the catch. Final opportunity coming up for the A's. They trail 3-1.
Out of the game, Matt Joyce. Home run number 18, hitting 8th in the lineup tonight. 3-2 fastball from Chris Davinsky. A fastball 3-2. He has an excellent changeup. He decided to go to the fastball, and Matt Joyce did not miss it. Solo got the A's on the board, trailing by 2 in the top of the 9th inning. And Giles again out to try to get 3 more outs. He got the double play last inning.
Simeon, Lowry, and Davis. And the first pitch is high.
Well, this is where you take a strike. It's base runners is what the A's need. They need to get a base runner on where one swing of the bat can tie the game.
Marcus has grounded out 3 times. Once to the pitcher, twice to the shortstop. A's with 5 hits in the game. The Astros with 7. A's have committed the game's only error. Marcus had a good swing and a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Marcus against Giles, 1 for 3, a homer and 2 strikeouts. So a very, very small sample size, but the home run is a good thing. Popped up as the fastball got in on Marcus Simeon. Hey, stay tuned for A's Post-Game Live presented by State Farm. Coase and Bip. Jim Cozumore, Bip Roberts are standing by in the studio. So the count was 2-0. Now it's 2-2 to Simeon. Like a slider.
Yeah, big sweeping slider started at him and kept going over the middle of the plate. Good adjustment by Simeon to stay alive.
Another 2-2 pitch, and in the dirt. Marcus chased it, and he's tagged out, and that's the first out here in the top of the 9th. So maybe that's where Giles was trying to throw the slider all along.
Yeah.
So 1 away.
And especially to throw it down out of the strike zone, and started in that Marcus as he had done the previous pitch that he'd fouled, but I tell you, Max Stassi again, excellent job at slider in the dirt, able to block it, make the tag for the putout without having to throw it first.
So here's Lowry. A's need a base runner to get that tying run back up. And a swing and a miss. Tomorrow night it'll be Kendall Graveman and Colin McHugh, game 2 of the series. A couple of pitchers who have battled injuries all year. They both missed quite a bit of time. There's a strike, 0-2. Then on Sunday, Jarrell Cotton and Brad Peacock. Peacock's kind of been a savior for the Astros rotation. He's 10-1. 2 pitches, a fastball up and away. And it'll be on to Baltimore for a 3-game series against the Orioles. Lowry tonight is 0 for 3, 3 groundouts. Just got a piece of that one.
And anytime the A's come to Houston, it's Jet Lowry's home, so he left after the game on Wednesday. Flew in, spent the off day here yesterday with his family. He usually does well against his former team. Did well against the A's when he played for the Astros. So both teams he's done well against the other.
And that one is lined just foul down the first baseline. Lowry is one of the few players that have played twice with two different teams. Twice with the Astros, twice with the A's. You just don't see that very often.
Well, he was great when he signed with the Astros and he's home. Then traded back to the A's.
That one is at the knees. Strike 3 called. 2 outs here in the ninth.
Well, you can only look at that and say that Jerry Lane called it the first pitch of the game. That was to Rajay Davis, first pitch. And the game comes back here. And according to that box, it's a strike. Came back over the middle of the plate. And there's your side right at the knees. Jed didn't think so.
So it's up to Chris Davis to try to get aboard. Davis is 0 for 3, and the first pitch is rolled foul. Davis has struck out twice and grounded to the pitcher. Swing and a miss on a slider that was a little up. So now the crowd, everybody rises to their feet.
Well, there's a hanger. But the fact that he throws it at the hitter, inside part of the plate, sweeps it over the middle of the park, then that makes it a pretty good pitch.
Two pitch, here it is. Got him swinging, and that's the ball game. So Giles strikes out the side in the top of the ninth inning. So he finishes in style, and he gets a 5-out save. So Keuchel gets the win. He's 11-2, and Giles gets his 24th save. Manaea takes the loss. Time of game was 2 hours and 47 minutes, and the attendance was 30,908. Final score tonight in Game 1 of this 3-game series. The Houston Astros defeat the Oakland A's 3-1. A's Postgame Live, presented by State Farm, is set to go from the studio. Here is Jim Kozamore.